What if I told you one of the most criticized leaders in America is also producing better academic outcomes than many of the school systems in the US? And no, it's not your principal, it's not your superintendent. I'm talking about prime time, baby.
Walk in, chest great, we don't play. Staff talk sharp like a quiz on a Monday. Whiteboard wars, yeah, we grade all day. If you can't take that heat, stay out the hallway. Hey, this is the staff room. Say it loud, say it loud. The staff room.
Let's get into it.
Deion Sanders has made waves in the academic world, and we're not talking about it enough. The same man the media called too aggressive, too direct, too blunt, too hard on players, the same man critics claimed was bad for culture, just led one of the biggest academic turnarounds in college football history. Meanwhile, America's school systems are moving in a complete opposite direction. Less accountability, less discipline, less expectations, and more excuses. And student achievement is collapsing. That's not my opinion, that's data. And this is exactly why Deion Sanders exposed the truth about broken school leadership. Now let's talk facts. Since taking over at the University of Colorado, Sanders completely transformed the football program culturally, financially, athletically, and academically. The criticism came immediately. People said he was too harsh, too demanding, too unapologetic. The people forget how harsh most coaches actually are. But when others do it, they call it inspiring. Now, why this double standard is, I don't know. But that's not the reason we're here. We're here to talk about reality. And in reality, when Prime built the roster, over 50 players left the program. Critics said he treated athletes like disposable pieces. Former players, they complained. Sports analysts, they complained.
Sanders welcomed everybody back to football season today with a wild press conference. So let's talk about it.
Social media complained. But while everybody was crying about their feelings, the academic numbers improved.
Don't get involved with what you make or whatever. But when you stop going to class, now you're affecting me. So we're going to affect your check. You're going to get something out of this. You're going to be a man or you're going to be a great football player. Since you choose not to be a great football player, we got to make you a man.
Through sheer accountability, expectation, and support. Now, Colorado posted a 2.932 cumulative GPA in 23, then a historic 3.011 GPA in 24, followed by the highest spring GPA in program history. Again, this is the first 3.0 plus semester GPA in program history. And this happened under the problematic leadership everybody criticized. Interesting how that works. Because according to modern educational practice, accountability is supposedly harmful. Direct leadership is supposedly toxic. Consequences are supposedly damaging, and yet the results say otherwise. And this is where education has lost its mind. Right now, in schools across America, we've built systems where everybody gets a voice, except for the professionals. That's right, except for the teachers. Students run classrooms. Parents override consequences. Administrators are terrified of conflict. Teachers are expected to produce achievement while having less authority than they ever had in the past. And then we wonder why behavior is getting worse, why motivation is worse, why achievement is at record lows. We keep lowering expectations while demanding higher outcomes. That makes no sense. Deion Sanders did the opposite. He established standards, clear standards. And if you didn't meet them, you were coached, you were corrected. And if you still refused to buy in, you were reprimanded in a way that promoted growth. And if you still had a problem, then he provided an option for you to remove yourself. He wasn't a tyrant. He was compassionately consistent. And that's exactly what we call leadership, or what leadership is supposed to be. It's not cruelty, leadership. And let's be honest, the school system today is addicted to comfort, which isn't a bad thing. But too much comfort, well, we know what that gets us. Helping students does not mean removing accountability. And meeting students where they are does not mean leaving them there. That's the difference. Deion understood the end goal. Football was temporary. Education and discipline were life skills. Culture mattered. Execution mattered. And accountability mattered. And despite all the noise surrounding his personality, the measurable academic data improved and kept improving. And that's the part people don't want to talk about, because it destroys the modern narrative that structure and discipline are somehow harmful. Now, am I saying every single thing Deion Sanders did was perfect? No, Absolutely not. No leader is perfect. But what I am saying is this: process matters, execution matters, culture matters, and fearlessness matters. This current education system that we're in is terrified to challenge students. It's terrified to upset their parents, and it's terrified to enforce the standards that we put in place for a reason. And because of all that, we are now producing students who struggle with resilience, accountability, communication, and perseverance. Meanwhile, the man everybody called too hard just produced historic classroom performance from a football program at that.
In 3 years, just nice. What it do? You know what I'm saying? Drink up. Got a few stashes. You know?
That contradiction should concern every educator in America. And here's the biggest lesson school leaders need to hear. You can't build strong culture while protecting every excuse. You can't improve outcomes while removing accountability. And you can't lead effectively if every difficult decision has to survive public approval first. Deion Sanders understood something many educational leaders have forgotten. Leadership is not popularity. Leadership is responsibility. Leadership stands on standards that are built to serve others, even when people criticize you for it. It's protecting culture. It's demanding execution. It's holding people accountable because you actually believe they're capable of doing more than what they're currently doing. That's what real leadership looks like. And whether people like this or not, personality or not, the academic results speak for themselves. If schools want better outcomes, maybe it's time to stop asking, how do we make our students more comfortable? And start asking, how do we prepare our students to succeed in the real world? And as parents, maybe we start asking what more we can do to help the school, not how we can blame them. And this is the same for our policymakers. Take accountability. Most of this is your fault. Because real world doesn't lower standards. The real world doesn't hand out results for effort alone. And the real world absolutely holds people accountable. Maybe Coach Prime didn't expose broken football culture. Maybe what he did expose was broken educational leadership and systems. Staff room.
Walk in, chest great, we don't play. Staff talk.